What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Celtics Talk Podcast here on the NBC Sports Boston Podcast Network. Got a fun one for you. Look, we're all sitting around waiting for Jaylen Brown or maybe any NBA news to get back on the crazy emergency pod grind. But for today, I want to have a little fun. And so you've probably seen it by now on social media. Robert Williams working out down in Houston, Texas with trainer of Aaron Miller, elite basketball training. And obviously, the easy part is you see him taking three-pointers and stuff like that. But I had to get the inside scoop. What are they working on down there? What are they trying to add to Rob's game this season? Got a chance to catch up with Aaron. Really fun conversation about how they're working, what Rob's like behind the scenes, what his goals are going into the next season, but mostly just celebrating that he has a full offseason here to be healthy and try to take his game to the next level. So let's not even wait. Let's get right into it. Here's my chat with Aaron. All right, Aaron, let's take me back. How'd you get linked up with Rob, and how did these summer workouts come about?
Well, I linked up with Rob through his agent, Kevin Bradbury. I've worked with a couple of players through Kevin. One of my full-time clients, Patrick Beverly and Jared Vanderbilt, is also represented by Lift Sports Management with Kevin Bradbury. And, I've done good work with them. And, when Rob told Kevin that he was moving to Houston, I got the nod, and, Kevin vouched for me, and I got the opportunity, and I'm hoping to knock it out of the park, not only for Kevin, but for myself and Rob. So
that's awesome. Tell me about just, when you start with a new player, I guess, how do you set goals? How do you set, do you go back and dive into tape of him? Do you start thinking about what you could work with him on to evolve his game? How does that all work?
Well, absolutely. I think the first thing is just going to dive into the film, the numbers. I think you find links of people that around the organization that aren't going to tell you what you want to hear, but how what you need to hear about that person, so the best way to connect with them, the best way, maybe their method of learning. How can I relate to him more? How can I get him to buy into what I'm saying? But Rob is one of those guys, man. I don't know how well, people know him the outside, but he is one of the most humble, he bought into what I'm saying, the goal, the vision I had for him. He, comes with his palms up, open arms, and in a sense where he wants to learn, he wants to get better, he wants to put in the work. Where somebody in his career could, and somebody, that like we're going to talk about it, as I'm sure moving forward, that didn't play as many games as he wanted to moving forward. Rob is excited. He didn't play as many games as he wanted to last season. Rob is excited. This is his first healthy off season. So he's ready in a little while. So he's ready to jump into it and get to work. So the first thing I did was jump into the film, obviously get on the same page with their coaching staff of what they wanted to have him work on, what they wanted to focus on, what Rob wanted to focus on, and kind of combine the two to, just find a common goal.
And so tell me about that. What jumped out? What does the team kind of want, and what did Rob want to work on? I see the video you posted. It's exciting for Celtics fans. We know what Rob can do around the rim, and his his general passing skill set, all that. What's it like trying to maybe incorporate these new things, and whether that's the mid range or the 3-pointers or all the other stuff that you guys have been working on?
Right, exactly. And real quick, just so I can tell you about what kind of person I am. I'm a super crazy psycho about my job and how serious I take it. And, I easily could have been one of those people, because one of Rob's brothers, I think posted one of his videos, or maybe like a short 2-second clip of Rob shooting a jump shot from 3-point, or maybe a video of him making it. And Celtic Nation went crazy, and it had over 800,000 views. And I was like, man, I am not about to get into one of those, Ben Simmons, Mitchell Robinson, one of those videos where it's not valuable work. It's just, trying to get views and clicks. So I was like, I told his brother, I told Kevin, I told this is not this kind of party. That is not what I'm about. I don't care about any of that stuff. I want to provide value while you're here. So one of the goals, the things that I do, like you said, like you saw in the video, my niche, I feel like is taking, and it is a little more difficult that now they have a new coach, but just taking some of those sets that maybe Tatum likes to run, or taking some of those actions that Jaylen Brown likes to run, and just putting Rob in those different actions and situations and sets, That's why I have 2 or 3 people, on my staff that are in each of the actions with me. It's not just me and Rob, and we're not just out there checking boxes. We're actually trying to get some real work in. With as much attention as Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum get, like in handoffs and pick and roll actions, I do think there is opportunity for Rob, to expand out 2 to 3 feet with the short rolls, or maybe when they're getting double teamed, to put it on the ground once, to find an open teammate in the corner. Like I said, told Rob, like, this is a goal of mine, and it will be of yours, that I want you to go into training camp at the end of September, beginning of October. I want you to go in there, and I want you to be in tip-top shape, and I want you to go in there with the utmost confidence. Whatever we do here, I want you to walk out of here in a month with the most confidence, and I want you to be in shape. Like I said, this is his first offseason away from Boston, their summer program. So also, too, I want them to see, like, man, when I do send him to Aaron, it's not – he is getting done what we need to get done. And just so you know, I've been working closely with their PT staff, Steve Mount. The Celtics' big thing, which I totally agree, is we gotta have him available next year.
Yeah.
He has to be available. He has to play the amount of games that we need him to play. So we're all on the same page. It's going great, and I'm enjoying working with Rob.
Just tell me about that, because I know how unselfish Rob tends to be.
Yes.
How do you get him into that mindset of maybe being more aggressive, catching the ball around the post? Is there any way a skills trainer can sort of get him to sort of buy into that? Is that just a confidence thing where he knows he's got those moves now, or what you guys work on to instill that confidence?
Well, I think the first thing is convincing Rob that he's able to do it, and looking in the mirror and reminding himself who he is. I think the second thing for young guys and somebody that's trying to take on more of a role offensively is, obviously you have to put in the work to do it. Yes, we're going to do that regardless, but you have to gain the coach's trust to do that. You have to gain the player's trust to do that. He actually, I know that was going to be one of our last questions about cool stories, but he told me a story about Jason Tatum, which I will tell you, all these guys I've been around, it was pretty special to hear. But he said, he's mad at Rob when he isn't taking shots, and he's mad at Rob, not mad, but holding him accountable when he isn't taking shots, and when he isn't being a threat or looking at the goal, because he was just saying maybe he is tired at the end of the game, or maybe the defense is zoned in on Jason or Jaylen. So when Rob is taking those 2 or 3, maybe 10 to 12-foot mid-range attempts, that maybe his person isn't able to stand with 2 feet in the paint and help on their drives. Maybe they have to respect a little bit that he will even attempt to take them. So those guys are on him about taking shots too. And they said, when Rob gets rebounds and throws it out to them to shoot it, I could tell you 12 other superstars in the NBA that'd be so happy, because that they're trying to get their shot attempts up. So but in Jason Tatum, I don't know him personally, but just in the sense of him saying, Rob, we need you to shoot that. We need you. Then, man, I thought that was like amazing for Rob's confidence, and like moving forward, like it's basically giving him the nod, like, hey, it is okay that you're taking those shots. It is okay that you're taking those mid range, because we need you to take them, because like I said, it'll open up other opportunities for those 2 key players.
It is funny. I think it's been a running theme up here, is that, Rob has shown a little bit of range, or shown an ability to be more selfish. I actually thought in the playoffs he took it up a little bit and took advantage a little bit more of it. But there's just another level that it feels like he can sort of get to. Where do you see Rob's game going? Like, beyond the rim running, beyond the obviously what he does on the defensive end, like what would you like him to maybe bring that's either new, or just like that will start to evolve, that maybe we see more of moving into training camp and next season?
Well, I think the first thing would be just being an offensive threat, in the sense of when he catches it, he's looking at the rim. He's acknowledging where his defender is playing him at. If he's in the corner, typically, if you see this with other players, if they're not an offensive threat, then that player's defender is usually on the block helping out. You see it all the time, but just when he's catching it, inserting himself into the action is what I'm saying. Instead of just being out there and they're playing 4-on-5 on offense, whether he is catching it, acknowledging defender, and being the best screener in the world. Because what I was telling Rob is, no one's scouting report on earth says to go under on Jason Tatum. So if your guy's playing at the block, I know we don't have visual representation, but if your guy, Rob, if you're in the corner and your guy's playing at the block, and Jason has the ball on the wing, and you up screen for him, or he hands you the ball, he throws you the ball, and you go dribble handoff to him from the corner, and he's going towards the corner. If your guy's all the way at the block, then Jason's going to have a clear pocket right one step behind you to take that shot, but just to be a threat, insert himself into the action, find ways to contribute, because he is so gifted. He is going to find ways to get extra possessions for his team. He's going to find ways. I said this in my post. In the last 3 years, Rob is the second best cutter. So he's great without the ball. He's great offensive rebounding. Like I said, great without the ball, getting in position. But how can we be great with the ball in our hands? How can we contribute to the offense, even if teams aren't scouting for us? How can we, if they are doubling Jason and Jalen off those handoffs, well, how can I catch it and make a skip pass to somebody else for an open shot? How can we? And again, like I said, my whole mindset is not just for us to put points on the board, because if you insert yourself into the action, that's going to happen. But how can we make winning plays to get us over the hump this year?
That's awesome. Tell me about your impressions of Rob. I know you said like he came in humble and ready to work. That comes across to us up here is just how, I don't know, like down to earth, I guess it would be. And just like,
oh yeah, I don't know if it's the Louisiana Southern, mentality, hospitality or what, but he's everybody. He walked into a gym. Like I said, I have 3 or 4 assistants that work with us every workout, including myself. And he goes in, he knows everybody's name. He goes and shakes all of their hand. He says hello before he says goodbye. He gets up, he walks across the gym, goes to tell them all goodbye and thank them. That's just what kind of person he is. He's just unbelievable. I promise you don't find that everywhere.
No, I was gonna say, and I think that's why it was so endearing. And like when he first got here, that there is that little bit of Southern charm that comes across, and it's honestly, it's like refreshing just that there's players that, especially as they get to starter level in the NBA. What's a routine day like for you guys? Like, how long are you guys on the court? What are you running through? Do you have a structure that you like to keep, or do you mix it up? Like, well, what's a workout
absolutely.
like?
Yeah, so like I said, I've been working with Steve Mount, the head of Celtics PT. Just like I said, our goal is to keep him as healthy as possible going through this process. So Mondays and Thursdays we work out 4 times a week. Monday and Thursdays are generally his high intensity days. Those Tuesday, Fridays, are more of shooting and ball handling and free throws and conditioning. We're just kind of lighter on his body, where it's only 30 minutes. But Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday are his off days just for that recovery. He's also lifting weights 4 times a week as well, just to strengthen, just all his muscle and especially his core. And then I know, like I said, he's working with Steve around the clock too, just to make sure that he is, just staying tight on everything as far as rehabilitation wise. But, he has a schedule. He sticks to it. He comes to me every morning on those 4 days at 10 a.m. and then goes directly after the lift. I know that like I said, he's massaging, getting all kind of work done, and he's just, it does make it a little interesting, moving forward, making those 2 days kind of more shooting and ball handling, and I just think that it's like kind of a blessing in disguise that he's just going to have to shoot it. Like he's going to have to. It's just going to build that confidence. He's going to see it continue to go in and go in and go in and go in. So. Even Steve yesterday, when he came to watch workout, he was like, man, that jump shot does look good. And I'm like, yes, but you can think that, and I can think that, and the whole Celtics staff can think that, and the whole world can think that. But I want Rob to believe that, like I said, and I saw some of the guys on Celtics, social media last night were like, man, he's taking a little bit of a long time to get that jump shot off. And I said, and I would never respond to anybody, but I was like, yes, but again, remember where his defender plays.
Yeah.
So low. And he gets a lot of those where Jason and Jalen get all the way to the rim and they have no choice but to pass it to in that 10 to 12 foot range. So our goal, is just for Rob to walk out of here as confident as possible and know that he can be an offensive threat.
And he's got the high release point. I mean, people were
too
much.
He's 6'10", 6'10", but yeah, you're right. He has the high release point. No one, and that, like I said, defender is 4 to 5 feet away. No one's blocking that shot.
people obsess about this stuff. All right, so I do got to ask you. You said you don't want, and I agree. Like I always take every summer workout video with a grain of salt because it's easy to splice together a little supercut of guy doing some good things or hitting shots. But like,
absolutely,
how much when you see Rob shooting 3-pointers, like because that's going to be the natural takeaway for people who are just kind of watching from afar. Is that something?
Course, and I want you to know before you even finish. Yeah, I only posted 1 3-pointer.
I know.
Everything else was a little 12 to 15 footer. But what I want people to understand is like, hey guys, even if he doesn't shoot a three, right? Maybe he gets it and reverses it, or maybe he gets
Yeah.
it and throws it right back to the. But we're getting two birds in one stone here, where he's gaining his confidence, he's getting his conditioning up, he's becoming a better screener, he's moving around. It's just putting it all together. He might not get that shot out of slip at the top key. He might not. But my thing is, like, man, we're checking all those boxes as far as our goals of he's getting in better shape. He's seeing the ball go through the net. He's establishing his confidence moving forward that maybe he does have to take that against, Philadelphia in the conference semifinals. Maybe he has to. He doesn't have a choice. Maybe it's the end of a shot clock and he has to. But he's seen it before. Now, I'm not saying he's going to shoot 3 or 4 a game. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, if it has to happen, then it's not that he has never seen it before. But the more realistic ones are the ones where, like, the first and third clip of the video is where driver is going down and the passer has no choice but to make a pass.
Yeah, it's just super intriguing to me. I think, every little bit helps. Just like you said, I think for Rob, it just comes down to confidence and wanting to take those shots. And his first instinct is just to get the ball out of his hands. I always joke up here, he wants to play hot poteto. He wants to.
Yeah, he's playing hot potato, right?
He's just so eager, and he's such a willing passer, which is a great thing when you have all the talent on the team. But it's funny that just from every level of the organization, there's been Rob. You got to be more selfish, and that is your challenge, Aaron. You need to instill that in him, that it's okay if he's got to look, take that dunk.
Absolutely.
All right, leave me with that. What else? Anything else fun that's gone on there? Like, what's the vibe like in there? Do you guys keep it light? Like, what's Rob like in that setting?
Well, anytime someone walks in, I always try to, find some sort of connection with them. I ask what they want to play on the aux cord, the music for that day. And the guy's very versatile. He's switching it up. He's got someone new he wants to listen to every day. So, he's got a wide palette, so he's just an amazing person to be around. He's a hard worker. He's someone that has literally never said a negative word about a teammate or a coach, and I'm like, man, you don't have any mean in there. Like, you don't hate anybody. Come on. But he's just like the ultimate professional. Like I said, he's excited to have this healthy offseason in front of him, and he's willing and ready to make the most of it. And I know I am too. So I'm thankful for the opportunity that Rob has given me.
I'm gonna throw one curveball at you. Like, just so from up here, we're wondering, how does the Celtics' new front court work together? When someone like, you got a skill set like Rob and a skill set like Porzingis, like, can you see that group working together, like, from afar and just from your basketball when you're watching? Like, do you think that those two can really play off each other?
Absolutely. I think we saw that experiment this year with Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not saying that those two are the same dynamic, but as what you're saying, as far as the two, obviously bigger players in the front court, I think it could work. It's just, obviously with the new coach, it's just what he wants to run, what actions. But obviously, and I know that those two players are going to have the ball, Jalen and Jason.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, what spots that, those Porzingis and Rob and, where those guys will be playing. But I think when you're talking about someone like you just said that is unselfish and doesn't have to have the ball in his hands, he's one of those glue guys. Like, obviously not the same player, but as far as like Jeff Green, he can go to any team and guys want to play with him, one. And two, like, he's like a bridge guy. Like, he can bridge the gap. If you need him to do this, he'll do that. If you need him to guard the best player, he'll do that. If you need to guard the switch, he'll do that. If you say, hey, I don't want you to shoot at all, I just want you to play defense, he'll do that. He wants to win. So no, I don't see a problem with them two playing together at all. In fact, I think it's going to be great to see. And I think if, after last year, like I said, experiment with Rudy and Karl Anthony Towns, like, this is the second one we'll see in 2 years. Like, maybe it's a trend going forward. You never know.
All right, I'm going to ask you to promote yourself. Like, where can people? I know that you're going to pick up a lot of Celtics followers based on the Rob video going up. But like, what do you want people to check out? Where can people see the guys you're working with?
So honestly, I feel awful that I'm doing that, but I don't have a big, huge Twitter following.
There you go.
Most of my stuff is on Instagram, Elite B-Ball Training. I had 6 new NBA guys that I just picked up this summer. I have, other guys I've worked with, Patrick Beverly, Keldon Johnson, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Trenton Watford, Colin Sexton. I just had 3 draft picks, Cam Whitmore, Jarris, Walker, Hunter Tyson, Winnie Gabriel that I just worked with while I was in LA. So I've got a lot of new people, and I'm thankful. I'm going down this journey, and I'm learning as I go. But like I said, I'm thankful to work with Rob. I'm thankful that he has even given me this opportunity, him and Kevin, and I'm hoping to make the most of it and make him proud and make Celtic Nation proud for sure.
Well, Aaron, you're doing a great job. Thank you for giving us a little glimpse into what it's like working with Rob. Like, again, I'm biased. I want all the Rob information I can get, but
of course, anytime.
We'll keep grinding out there. I hope I'll have to catch up with you after the month is done and see if there's any more secrets.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the time and for giving me a chance to get on your show.
All right. Fascinating stuff. Yeah. Like, you guys know how it is. I mean, I could have talked to poor Aaron for hours about Rob and what it's like working with him this offseason. I do think it's just a monster offseason for Rob, a chance here to just really expand the toolbox on the court, to try and instill a little bit more of that selfishness so that the Celtics can be an even better team on the court. When you think about the attention that Boston's new big three with Porzingis and Jalen and Jason can draw, it's really imperative that the others on the team punish teams when they put that attention on them, and there's going to just be opportunities. And I love that Aaron dug into the numbers and saw Rob's abilities as a cutter, and hopefully, gets him to do that a little bit more. I mean, the Celtics as a whole need to think about that based on the attention that their primary guys draw. Really excited to see where it goes for Rob from here, for what it might be. And as Aaron said, like, the threes are fun, and Rob is definitely going to stretch out that game over the years. I was joking with Aaron afterward that, remember when Aaron Baines arrived here and he didn't shoot a lot of threes, and eventually they all gravitate out there. And I can see Rob doing the same. But for now, the most impactful way for him to help this team is to do some more damage around the basket and not just above the rim. And I think Aaron's well on his way to instilling that in him. All right. Well, we'll be back with more Jaylen Brown whenever the Jaylen Brown news comes down. But for now, revel in the videos of Rob, and that's the way I'm going to get through my summer. Go like, subscribe, check us out on the YouTube page. We'll catch you next time on the Celtics Talk Podcast.